Hello, guys. CO Reds fan here. Today I'm going to be talking about some 2025 free agent signings that the Cincinnati Reds could possibly make. Now, noted this is directly after the Jonathan India and Brady Singer trade, so obviously there could be an extra second baseman or a starting pitcher removed or added from this list. All right, jumping straight into it, my first target would be Trevor Williams. Although he had quite a small sample size in the 2024 season, he was super effective. 17 run value in only 66 innings. His fastball was quite effective, although it was really bad average velo 88.6, which is in the second percentile. He managed to use that effectively and make it his best pitch. If signed with the Reds, which is now unlikely, I would say, he could probably go for 2 years, 15 million, and I think that he would provide a good fight with Andrew Abbott and Nick Lodolo for the 4 or 5 spot, and obviously bring with that would lead to less pressure on him as a pitcher, and he could perform better or he could perform worse. Um, Hopping straight into our next pick, I do have Jose Leclerc. I listed him as gettable just because he is still a high leverage reliever. Sports Illustrated rated him in the high 40s of their top 50, so he is still very prominent. I think that he could sign for about the $6 million per year range, although he did have a down season. His slider is down 0.8 miles per hour from 2023, and it was the second worst ERA of his career. So, obviously, looking down on Leclerc, he is a successful reliever. He saved a couple games in the postseason, and I think he would be a good fit for the Reds because this season you had a bunch of setup guys, Fernando Cruz, Buck Farmer, Sam Maul, you name it. But honestly, they weren't true setup guys. Jose Leclerc is that person that's going to get the job done in any role, really, as a fireman, setup, even closer if Alexis Diaz does falter a little bit like he has in previous years. And he would just be a really good option that I think the Reds should look at. All right, next I got Jonathan Loáisiga. So this guy I've looked at for years as just such an electric player, and I think like Jose Leclerc, he is that guy that can perform in really any role. He's still really young, and the good thing about him is that he gets a lot of ground balls. That is what the Reds have been doing really well as of lately with Elly De La Cruz in that shortstop hole. He's been really, really good at fielding, and a high ground ball rate at Great American is exactly what you want. You want to limit as many fly balls as possible, and that is exactly what Loáisiga does. Now, obviously, there are injury risks coming with Loáisiga. He missed almost the entire 2024 season due to repeated shoulder and elbow issues. So that would have to be kept on the radar. I have him for around 2 to 3 million evaluation just because he can still get the ball across the plate really well. Like Gleyber Torres, I don't think that the Yankees are really going to put Loáisiga as a target to sign. So a lot of teams are definitely going to look into him, and I think the Reds should as well. The next guy that I have is obviously Buck Farmer. I think that if the Reds offer him a contract, he's basically guaranteed to sign. So I have him at a 2 million, 2-year, 9 million evaluation, with a buyout of 2 million on year 2. Buck Farmer was really that guy that could be posted in any situation, kind of as a setup guy, fireman. You did see him more in that fireman role, though, as the season went on. When David Bell put him in with runners on, he wasn't exactly too good with that. So that's why I'm going to add a buyout to his contract in his evaluation. But he knows the Reds really well. He's been there for a couple of years now, and this was his best year. He posted a 3.04 ERA, which is nothing to scoff at. But one concern is that xERA and FIP. Like Andrew Abbott, Buck Farmer is that guy that you're not exactly sure you can thrust into that high role just because of his expected stats and what he might do in years down the road. Also, his fastball velo keeps falling. From 2022, I think it's been down about 2 miles per hour. So you would still have to look at Buck Farmer as kind of that guy that you can throw in, but I wouldn't put much more value on him than he had this year. All right, moving on to our last relief pitcher. I do have Miguel Castro. 75 games in 2023, which led the league in appearances. He only did manage about 63 innings, though, so that is something to be brought up. He's not really a high leverage piece. He's just one of those guys that can sit in the higher end of the bullpen, kind of like a Yasser Zulueta type of guy. I don't think that he could exactly provide much value as, say, an opening day opening day rosteree, but he could definitely still provide all that value that would be there if someone, say, Sam Ball gets hurt again. So I put his evaluation at 1 year and $700,000. I really don't see him as a guy that could sign for more than that because he's proven to be majorly a minor league piece as of 2024. All right, moving on to catchers. I think that Tyler Stevenson really has the starter role locked down. So I decided to try and see which backup catchers would really fit. And I looked at Carson Kelly. He's a leader, still not that old. And he's not highly expensive. He was on the Tigers last year and got traded to the Rangers, where he fought with Jonah Heim for a starting spot. So that is something to be mentioned. He had a decent year, better than Luke Maile, a 687 OPS, a good 313 OBP, and he doesn't really strike out that much. He hits fastballs very well, and he manages to hit a couple long balls every once in a while. Obviously, he's going to be quite a step up from Luke Maile if he is signed. That's kind of the spot that I think he can get put in, not exactly as a starter role. Like I already said, Steve-O definitely has that job locked up. But he would be a returning veteran that could provide a lot of value. All right, next, I do have Austin Wynns. I think that he's just a really good piece like Miguel Castro that can be, a kind of hybrid from the MLB and AAA. He had a limited amount of at-bats in 2024 due to being put on the 60-day IL for a couple issues. But when he was at the major league level, he did hit a bunch of doubles. One concern is that he didn't hit an extra base hit in the minors, though, which does cause a little bit of concern for his long-term value as, say, a major league player in case Tyler Stevenson gets hurt or possibly Carson Kelly. Because of his ability to kind of switch through AAA and MLB a little bit better than some people that might also be on the free agent market, I do have a $1 million evaluation for 1 year. The market put him at about $700,000, but as people become more expensive, even in the minor leagues, I think that he can go up to $1 million. The next person that I have in the outfield is going to be Michael Conforto. I think that he's a very gettable piece just due to his age and possible concerns of a regression. Baseball Savant did not really see such a thing. They loved his metrics, what he did at bat. So he had a 350 x WOBA, and he only had 2 pitches with a negative run value. That is really important to being maybe a piece that could fill in for Jonathan India at that high batting order spot. He needs to get on base if that is so. Better than he's almost ever had in his career, but the metrics do see him going up. Once again, I did complete this evaluation before Jonathan India was controversially traded to the Royals. So I think that makes the Conforto signing that much more important. He is now a target outfielder for the Reds. I put a 3-year, $19 million valuation for him just because, like I said, he could be due for some regression due to his age, and a player option for year 3. And the last person I wanted to talk about today was Teoscar Hernandez. So this was a guy that was a major cog in this Dodgers World Series run. He's a super good guy that I think provides a ton of value as a bat. Certainly not as a fielder. He was absolutely atrocious, but he did do really well at the stick. I mean, a 25 batting run value. He did really well against curveballs and changeups. I thought he would do well against fastballs this season, but he has regressed to more of a slower ball hitter. He's widened his possibilities. And then really high evaluation. This guy can go for a bunch off the market. He's most likely going to be going back to the Dodgers, which is why I listed him as a reach. If they can't get Juan Soto, then Teoscar Hernandez is definitely going to be their next option. But this guy, if he goes to the Reds, this will be a statement signing that they are going to try to do something. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this provided you guys with a little more insight about what the Reds could possibly do this season. Obviously, probably none of these are going to ever come to fruition, but I just like to brainwash myself once in a while with things that could possibly come true. Yeah, Buck Farmer, watch out for him. Watch out for Jonathan Loaisiga. Obviously, watch out for Jose Leclerc, and I will see you guys later. Thank you.